And so when I talk about economics and the cost of it, I'm talking about the long-term lifetime cost of it. Because when you don't, eat healthy, then you end up with certain health conditions or issues that need to be addressed. And also, even with the garden, even from what you've talked about so far, I don't have to burn my gas going to the grocery store as much, right? Because my grocery store is right here at my house. So I don't, every time I need something or want something, I have a lot of what I need here already. And so those are sort of like the economic effects that I'm talking about. So then talk about what was I going to ask with that? The going from this gardening in your home to this mass production of food. Like, I think it's interesting when people, I've had a few people in the last few years since being vegan and so forth has become very popular. And a lot of people eat hummus and it's become a very popular dish in a lot of places you go. And people say, well, no, my child, my so and so only eats hummus. They're vegan. And I said, well, they probably don't eat the same hummus that they eat in Lebanon. I said, because they don't probably mass produce it. And I'm sure you can't get nacho cheese flavored hummus in Lebanon. And so talk about, this issue of mass production. It's the economics of it that's generating wealth rather than informing and helping to have a healthier society.
Well, the moment that they made us a society of convenience, things went downhill. Okay, it takes a lot of work to make a garden, but then it's to me you have to put it in a certain theory, a scope. Everything takes work. There's nothing that you can be successful at without putting work towards it. The problem is that people need to understand that your health is work. And so what you have to look at your garden is just as important as the medications you would go to your doctor for. You should be able to walk out into your garden to go, you have a cough that day, go out into your garden and, get some lemon balm and make you some tea. You have a stinky smell in your house, go out to your garden and go get some lavender and, put it up in the corner to help you feel a little bit calmer. You have a toothache, grow a little toothache plant and chew on it and go out into your garden. Things that we don't think about because we moved away from it because it's not convenient, because it's not happening in the moment. You think about when the microwave hit the streets, that's basically the difference between gardening is like using the oven. The wood fire oven. Okay? Yeah. Whereas you got the grocery store that is the microwave. And so you get people who say, okay, I'll grow this one potato, but it took me 5 months to grow a potato that I could have went to the store and bought, a whole bag of them for $2 or so in no time. So number one, you have to start thinking about your health.
Right.
You have to put gardening in the same, hold it in the same esteem that you hold the things that make you healthy. So for example, especially within our Black community, hypertension, diabetes, some of the main killers within our culture, but they're both completely curable with diet and exercise. But you don't see people who are diagnosed with diabetes. They don't come and say, "Oh, well, the doctor told me that I got to go and start a garden and just eat these healthy greens.
Right.
Do this, start putting this in my soil, or I'm going to do this to take control of my own health."
Right.
Gardening is a form of revolution. Growing your own food is a form of revolution because it is taking back control of everything that you're consuming. And so on the broader scope, whereas it might be cheaper, like you said about the pandemic, you might be able to get a bag of apples for less, than it would cost to buy an apple tree in the moment. But once your apple tree grows, now you have endless amount of apples for generations. You know where those apples are coming from. You know what you're putting in your soil. So it's almost, it's looking at things in the long term.
That's what I'm saying, with
in
economics,
the
yeah.
long term, this right here, this starting this garden and eating the things that I get from the grocery store, because you can write down a list of everything you get from the grocery store, and it's really not as expansive as you think. You know, you probably get some carrots, you get your potatoes, you get onions, some garlic, you know, you grow whatever green vegetables you want. But you know, when you look, the grocery store only gives you 5 or 6 options, maybe, of everything. Usually it's like 2 or 3 that you get to have, whereas you can have your garden, you can have 22 different varieties of lettuce if you want. You can have, you know, a special lettuce that they don't even grow here in our area that you like better, that helps you to eat more. Therefore, you're eating more salads, and now, you know, you're growing kale and you're making kale fruit punch, and, you know, doing all of these different things that becomes a lifestyle. And so you have to kind of look at things and say, yeah, I understand that right now I can buy one sweet potato and this is all good. But it is not, if you try to go and buy an organic sweet potato, which organic only means that they don't use a certain amount of chemicals. Let's just asterisk that. You know, so it's a certain level of chemicals and you can call it organic. So it's not no chemicals, just not as much as the ones that aren't. When you look at organic food, it is nowhere near cost effective. You can see the differences. And so you should compare your garden to at least the organic food. And then you can see, because some people just need to see that it's worth it. You know, that you can see, because one organic sweet potato is going to be $5. Right. You know, whereas you can grow your sweet potatoes and you'll get 5 sweet potatoes from one sweet potato. And how many sweet potatoes do you eat? You know, how many sweet potatoes do you grow a year? And that's where we go back to our garden plan and say, hey, I'm having Thanksgiving dinner this year, because we know Thanksgiving dinner is a good time to look at how much food costs you. You know, Thanksgiving, whereas we used to complain about it, Thanksgiving now is almost $1,000 if you want to feed 20 people. You know, at your house, because it's just ridiculous, really. But if you know I'm going to have Thanksgiving dinner and I'm going to do sweet potatoes this year, well then maybe we'll grow 5 sweet potato plants, and you'll have enough sweet potatoes for everybody organically, naturally, something that you put your heart and soul into. And so it's an accomplishment, it's healthy, you know, and those 2 things alone make it worth more than anything. You can't put a price on your health, and that's what we have to stop doing.